There's a strange paradox in modern life. Most of us can spend hours locked into a screen, scrolling, gaming, watching, without ever noticing the time slip away. Yet the moment we sit down to study, to read, or to build something meaningful, our focus shatters like glass. It's easy to believe that means we're broken, that our attention spans have shrunk, that discipline has disappeared. But that isn't true. What's really happening is that our brains have become experts at one kind of focus, the kind designed for entertainment, and have forgotten the kind designed for growth. Every app, every show, every game has been engineered to give you what neuroscientists call a clear goal loop. Defeat the boss, watch the next episode, refresh the feed. Each step rewards you with a tiny hit of dopamine, the brain's signal for progress made. Your mind loves this loop because it never has to wonder what to do. But when you open a textbook or a blank page, that loop vanishes. No instant feedback, no obvious endpoint, no signal that says you're winning. So your brain, hungry for that next pulse of dopamine, starts scanning for something easier, brighter, faster, and within seconds, your hand reaches for your phone. Focus, it turns out, isn't about willpower, it's about clarity. When the goal is crystal clear, attention follows naturally. When the goal is foggy, attention dissolves. Dopamine is often described as a pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. It doesn't reward the having, it rewards the chasing. It spikes in anticipation. When your brain predicts that something good is about to happen, that means the moment you see a new notification, your dopamine rises before you even open it. You don't crave the message, you crave the anticipation of the message. That's why one quick check can spiral into 20 minutes of scrolling. This mechanism was once crucial for survival. It kept our ancestors exploring, hunting, innovating. But now, in an environment of infinite novelty, it turns against us. Our attention system, built for the wild, gets trapped in a digital feeding loop. Each hit of novelty gives a brief surge of excitement followed by a crash. Over time, those spikes train the brain to expect constant stimulation. Silence starts to feel unbearable. Stillness feels like emptiness. So when you finally sit down to work in a quiet room, your mind panics. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your brain has been conditioned to avoid low stimulation states. And deep work, learning, creation, all of it, it lives in those low stimulative states. The only cure is a reset, a period of quiet long enough for your dopamine levels to flatten, for boredom to return. Because boredom is not the enemy, boredom is the gateway. It's the space where curiosity wakes up again. Researchers once asked volunteers to sit in a room with nothing to do for 15 minutes. Most people couldn't bear it. A third of them chose to give themselves small electric shocks, rather than stay alone with their thoughts. That's how uncomfortable stillness has become. Yet, after a few days of digital fasting, no social media, no constant noise, something changes. The restlessness fades. The inner static quiets. Ideas begin to surface on their own. It's as if the mind, starved of external noise, starts generating its own music again. In the Far East, ancient spiritual teachers compared the human mind to a monkey, leaping from branch to branch. They also said that once the monkey realizes it's being watched, it begins to calm down. That awareness, simply noticing when your attention drifts, is the foundation of focus. Each time you catch yourself reaching for your phone, each moment you pull your mind back to the task, you're training that awareness like a muscle. It's not about perfection, it's about return. Meditation, journaling, slow walks, all of these teach the monkey mind that it's safe to sit still. And in that stillness, the first petals of concentration begins to open. Imagine attention as a muscle in the brain. If you lift too heavy, it fails. If you lift too light, it never grows. The trick is progressive overload. Start by timing how long you can stay genuinely engaged before drifting. That's your baseline. The next day, aim for just a few minutes more. Day by day, the window expands. Within weeks, what once felt impossible becomes effortless. This method doesn't just train endurance, it retrains the brain's expectation of reward. Every small success gives a pulse of dopamine, teaching your mind that effort itself can be satisfying. Neuroscientists later discovered that a specific kind of meditation can rewire the brain's focus circuits faster than almost anything else. It's called open monitoring. For 17 minutes, you simply sit with eyes closed, noticing whatever arises, sounds, sensations, thoughts. You don't chase them, you don't push them away. Even a single session measurably reduces what scientists call attentional blinks. The micro moments when your awareness shuts off. Fewer blinks means smoother, longer attention. Practice regularly. This can offset age-related decline in memory and concentration. It's a workout for awareness itself. As people practice this kind of deep focus, something new begins to appear. A state where effort vanishes, where time dissolves. Psychologists call it flow. It's the experience athletes describe as being in the zone, musicians as being carried by the rhythm, scientists as being lost in the work. In flow, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that worries, doubts, and counts the minutes, temporarily deactivates. Dopamine, norepinephrine, and endorphins flood your system. You feel clear, alive, unstoppable. Flow isn't mystical, it's biological. And it has a structure, a series of triggers that anyone can learn to activate. But before we reach those triggers, we need to understand why some people slip into flow easily, while others can barely start. The answer lies in motivation, specifically the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic fuel. To understand why some people can work for hours, while others can't last 5 minutes, we have to look at what truly drives the human brain. Motivation has two engines, the one that burns out quickly and the one that can run forever. The first is extrinsic motivation. They chase raw rewards, praise, money, or recognition. It's useful, it gets you moving, but it fades the moment the reward is gone. The second engine is intrinsic motivation, the energy that comes from within. It isn't about outcomes, it's about the act itself. Curiosity, mastery, meaning, autonomy. Every lasting form of focus and creativity grows from this inner fuel. And there are 5 elements that form its blueprint. Curiosity. The spark curiosity is the mind's natural magnet. It's the question itself. What happens if? When you follow that question, dopamine rises. Not because you've achieved something, but because you're exploring. Every great discovery began with curiosity. It's the biological trick nature uses to make learning feel like play. Yet school, routine, and constant distraction slowly suffocated. We're taught to seek grades, not wonder. To reignite your curiosity, you have to give your brain small, immediate wins. Learn something you can use today. Apply it. See a result. That feedback loop tells your brain exploration is valuable. And the more you repeat that loop, the hungrier curiosity becomes. Curiosity is focus for free. When you're genuinely interested, you don't have to force attention. It appears on its own. Second, mastery. The climb. But curiosity alone is a spark. And it needs direction. That direction is mastery. The desire to improve. Every time you stretch your ability, your brain releases dopamine and endorphins. Progress itself becomes rewarding. The key is challenge, skills, balance. If the task is too easy, you drift into boredom. Too hard, you fall into anxiety. Somewhere in between is your sweet spot, the edge of your competence, where the mind ignites. This is why great athletes, artists, and scientists appear addicted to practice. They're not chasing trophies, they're chasing that edge. Each session brings them one step closer to a level they can feel but hadn't yet reached. In the film Formula 1, there's a scene at the end of the film where Brad Pitt gets into this state. And even throughout the film he already told about this state. And it is the one reason why he is still driving as a racing driver. To chase that moment. To chase that feeling, the state of the mind. And I know that many people wish to be in that state at all times. He says that in that moment it feels like there's no one that can beat him. He sees everything, every corner, every other driver. Many people seek that state and not many know how to get there. And that is the reason why I made this video for you. This state can get you further in 1 month than some people get in 1 year or even more. That state is so potent that you can create anything in much less time. It's like a cheat code. It's a state where rich people and really successful people are in. They know how to channel it. And I am going to teach you this in that video so that you can have the same success as these people. To build mastery deliberately, break big goals into small, measurable skills. Focus on the smallest step that feels just out of reach. Mastery is less about perfection than about progress you can sense. Autotelicity, the joy of doing. When curiosity and mastery intertwine, something beautiful happens. The work itself becomes the reward. Psychologists call this autotelicity, from the Greek for self-purpose. Think of the musician who keeps playing long after the concert ends. Or a coder who loses track of time refining a program no one will ever see. They are not chasing outcomes. They are immersed in process. Autotelic moments blur the line between work and play. You stop asking, when will this be over? You start feeling, I could do this forever. That sensation is the doorway to flow. It's also a compass pointing toward what you're naturally built to do. If you notice that certain tasks absorb you effortlessly, that's not laziness. That's alignment. Fourth, purpose. But even autotelic joy needs a horizon. Purpose gives that horizon shape. It's the sense that your effort matters beyond itself. Purpose transforms repetition into devotion. It's what keeps the nurse working through the night, or the engineer refining a design no one has ever approved yet. Purpose fuses meaning with action. To clarify it, shrink it into one sentence. My work exists too. When you can fill that blank honestly, every task becomes a part of something larger. Purpose fuels endurance. It makes sacrifice feel worthwhile. On a neurochemical level, purpose releases serotonin and oxytocin, the molecules of connection and belonging. Together with dopamine, they create a balanced drive, alert yet content, focused yet fulfilled. 5. Autonomy, the freedom to steer. The final pillar of intrinsic motivation is autonomy, the feeling of control over your path. When you choose what, how, and when to act, motivation multiplies. When you feel trapped, it dies. Autonomy doesn't mean isolation. It means ownership. It can be as small as deciding the order of your tasks, or as big as designing your own project. Even tiny doses of choice tell the brain, this is mine, triggering the circus of engagement. You can create autonomy even in rigid environments by reframing. See each task as a step within a journey you've chosen. That mental shift turns obligation into agency. These 5 motivators, curiosity, mastery, autotelicity, purpose, and autonomy, they don't work separately. They form a circuit. Curiosity sparks interest. Mastery sustains it. Autotelicity rewards it. Purpose enlarges it. Autonomy protects it. As each one strengthens, the brain releases a mix of dopamine, norepinephrine, and acetylcholine, the exact cocktail that primes the mind for flow. In flow, additional chemicals, endorphins, anandamide, serotonin, oxytocin join the dance, creating euphoria, creativity, and a sense of oneness with the task. This is why flow feels effortless yet powerful. The brain's reward and focus systems are perfectly synchronized. Once you've entered flow a few times, the system becomes self-reinforcing. The more you experience it, the easier it becomes to re-enter. Neural pathways strengthen. Dopamine teaches your brain that deep work itself is pleasurable. What began as discipline transforms into instinct. This is the hidden pattern behind every seemingly superhuman performer. The scientists lost in research, the climber scaling impossible walls, the entrepreneur building through the night. They are not forcing focus, they are surfing it. They've aligned their intrinsic motivations so perfectly that effort turns to momentum. You can measure and train these drivers like muscle. Rate each one on a scale from 1 to 10. Which is the weakest? Start there. If curiosity is low, inject novelty. Learn something new and apply it immediately. If mastery is weak, define a specific skill to improve and track progress daily. If authenticity is missing, pay attention to the activities that make hours vanish and schedule more of them. If purpose feels vague, reconnect the dots between your work and the people it helps. If autonomy is lacking, claim a small domain you can control and expand it gradually. Every small gain in one area amplifies the others. Raise them together and your baseline motivation changes permanently. When motivation and focus fuse, when all 5 motivators light up, you enter a virtuous cycle. Motivation drives focus. Focus deepens mastery. Mastery fuels purpose. Purpose renews curiosity. Autonomy sustains the whole loop. The cycle doesn't just make work easier, it transforms identity. You stop asking, how can I force myself to focus? You start living inside the question, what could I create if I can harness this flow state? But there's still one more layer. The external environment. Even the strongest internal drive can be blocked by constant noise, by digital distraction, by the wrong rhythm of the day. In the next part, we look at how to shape those outer conditions, how to trigger flow deliberately, and how new technologies like New Wake can tune the brain into that state at the push of a button. Even with perfect internal motivation, focus is fragile. One misplaced notification, one sudden worry, and the mind unravels. That's why the outer world, the rhythms, the sounds, the tools matters just as much as what's happening inside the skull. Psychologists call this flow proneness, the likelihood that your environment will help you to drop into the zone. Flow proneness isn't luck, it's design. Every deep performance moves through the same rhythm. First comes struggle, the loading phase where you absorb information and push against resistance. The brain floods with cortisol and norepinephrine. Concentration feels forced. Most people quit here, mistaking discomfort for failure. If you persist a little longer, something shifts. You release. You let go of conscious control and your mind reorganizes itself. That's release. Then suddenly, effort vanishes. You're in flow. Action and awareness merge. Time dilates. Minutes stretch or collapse. You perform better than you can explain. Afterwards comes recovery, the phase of rest when the chemistry resets. Ignore it and the system burns out. Honor it and the next cycle deepens. Knowing this rhythm means you stop fighting the hard start. You recognize the early struggle as the doorway, not the enemy. Researchers like Mihail Csikszentmihalyi and Stephen Kotler discovered that flow isn't random. It has entry points, conditions that push the brain toward the synchronized state. The 3 universal triggers are simple but powerful. First, clear goals. The mind can focus on fog. It needs a target, a direction, a reason to begin. Second, immediate feedback. Each action should tell you instantly whether you're moving closer or farther from success. Third, challenge. Skill balance. Tasks must be slightly beyond your comfort zone. Enough to stretch you, but not enough to break you. Stack these triggers and flow follows naturally. The easiest way to multiply those triggers is to start your day in silence. When you wake up, your brain is still in alpha theta waves, the same rhythm found in early flow. But the moment you check your phone, those patterns shatter. Distraction floods in before focus has a chance to form. The rule is simple: flow before fall. Spend the first 2 or 3 hours of the day on your most meaningful tasks, undistributed. That single habit can double your productivity. Noise fragments attention. Clutter distrains it. Your flow space is clean, quiet, predictable. Schedule deep work in blocks of 90 minutes. This is long enough for the chemistry to ramp up. And each session with a deliberate recovery, a walk, stretching, or stillness. These rituals signal the brain that it's safe to rest, ready to rise again. Everything so far works. If you follow it, you'll rebuild focus the way a musician rebuilds rhythm. But there's a new tool that can accelerate the process dramatically. It is called Neowake. Neowake uses precise audio frequencies, binaural beats, and isochronic tones to guide the brain's electrical activity. When you listen through headphones, your brainwaves begin to synchronize with the pattern in the sound. Beta waves of stress fade. Alpha and theta waves, those linked with flow and creativity, rise. In practical terms, that means what used to take 20 or 30 minutes of warm-up can happen in 5. Writers use it to drop straight into deep work. Athletes to prime focus before training. Entrepreneurs to quit anxiety before big decisions. It's not a shortcut that replaces practice. It's an amplifier that makes practice easier. For anyone who wants to experience this, there's a 7-day trial linked below. One session can show what it feels like where your brain finally stops fighting you and starts working with you. The 30-day contrast plan. Imagine 2 paths. On the first, you will build focus manually. You practice open monitoring meditation for 17 minutes a day. You stretch your attention by minutes, then by tasks. You check goals, tweak challenges, guard mornings from your phone. After 30 days, you've rewired your mind. On the second path, you use Neowake as your accelerator. You still set clear goals, still pursue mastery, but you no longer need long warm-ups. The audio primes your brain automatically. Meditation time shortens. Distraction loses their grip faster. Focus deepens sooner. Both paths lead to flow. One just removes more friction along the way. When internal drive and external design align, something remarkable happens. Work feels lighter. Distractions fade before they fall. You stop chasing motivation because you're already moving. This is the state high performers live for. The moment when doing and being merge. It isn't mystical, it's mechanical. A finely tuned conversation between chemistry and choice. And anyone can learn it. Start by clearing space. Set one precise goal. Protect your mornings. Feed curiosity. Cultivate mastery. Reconnect with purpose. And when you want to feel what all of that sounds like, the rhythm of focus itself, put on your headphones and press play on Neowake. Listen, feel your breath slow, your mind sharpen, your body settle into the present. That's not magic, that's you. In alignment with the oldest technology you own, your brain. In a world where attention is currency, learning to control yours is the ultimate wealth. Every notification that steals a second is a tax on your potential, but every moment of focus compounds like interest. You don't need to become superhuman to reclaim it. You just need to remember what it feels like to be fully here. The path is waiting, built from clarity, discipline, and a little sound that helps the mind remember its own rhythm. That rhythm is flow, and once you learn its pattern, you'll never mistake distraction for life again. With that being said, be safe, stay strong, and stay hard.